Welcome to an overview of ACPA and United pilot wages from 2000 to 2021. This is a series of videos. You'll get more out of this presentation if you've watched an overview of ACPA pilot wages first. In this presentation, we'll cover the 20-year timeline from 2000 to 2021 for United and ACPA pilots. Two aircraft common to both fleets during this time will be used, namely the 320 and the 767. During this timeline, both groups went through a merger, 9/11, SARS, bankruptcy protection, and now a pandemic. We will take a look at how well each group fared through all of those events using hourly wages. We will look at how similar United and ACPA pay history is up until 2017. Finally, we will take a look at how each group has distributed gains since bankruptcy. No currency exchange has been applied to any slides. ACPA wages are in Canadian dollars, United in US dollars. All ACPA hourly wages are half day, half night. This slide shows United and ACPA 320 hourly wages plotted from 2000 to 2021. These are mainline wages only, Rouge is not included. Starting on the left, shaded in pink, ACPA and United 320 wages are relatively close from 2000 through 2003, both groups making gains above inflation. United 320 pilots are paid about 12% more than ACPA pilots, but the difference is fairly consistent. During bankruptcy protection, shaded pink, United pilots took almost double the pay cut of ACPA pilots. Notice the dramatic change in United's hourly pay. Between 2006 and 2012, United pilots regained their marginal advantage over ACPA 320 pilots. Here, shaded in pink, is years 2011 through 2017. Notice that the United 320 pilots and ACPA 320 pilots' wages have returned to their pre-bankruptcy normal. United pilots being paid marginally more than ACPA pilots. This is steady over the next 5 to 6 years. As you can see, other than bankruptcy protection, United 320 wages and ACPA 320 wages were very comparable between 2000 and 2017. Here, shaded in pink, United and ACPA 320 wages from 2017 to 2021. Here we see the United pilots make strong advances and start to recover toward their pre-bankruptcy inflation-adjusted wages. Notice that the United 320 captain hourly wage is very close to the ACPA pre-bankruptcy inflation-adjusted wage, shown by the blue United line intersecting with the orange inflation line. ACPA 320 pilots locked into a 10-year deal, parallel inflation, and make no gains on their pre-bankruptcy inflation-adjusted wages. Up until 2017, ACPA and United 320 wages were very comparable. The gap between United 320 pilots and ACPA 320 pilots has doubled since, from 12% in 2003 to 23% for captains and 25% for FOs today. This slide shows the United and ACPA 767 hourly wages plotted from 2000 to 2021. These are mainline wages again, neither Rouge or the new freighter wages are plotted. Notice on the left, shaded in pink, that the ACPA and United 767 wages are relatively close between 2000 and 2003. Once again, United 767 pilots paid marginally more than ACPA 767 pilots, both groups making gains greater than inflation, just like the 320 example. In this time frame, United pilots are making 7 to 8% more than ACPA pilots, but the difference, once again, is uniform. During bankruptcy protection, shaded pink, United pilots took almost double the pay cut of ACPA pilots. Between 2006 and 2012, United pilots didn't quite regain their marginal advantage over ACPA 767 pilots. At United, the 767 was pay grouped with the 757 in bankruptcy. Notice that the ACPA recovery once again shows the first signs of the impact the percent of captain pay reductions had on ACPA FO and RP wages. Notice that although the ACPA captain wage climbs, the first officer wage stays almost flat and the RP wage drops. Here, shaded in pink, is years 2011 to 2017. Notice that the United 767 pilots and the ACPA 767 pilots' wages have returned to their pre-bankruptcy normal. United 767 pilots and ACPA 767 pilots being paid relatively similar wages. This is steady over the next 5 to 6 years. As you can see, other than bankruptcy, United 767 wages and ACPA 767 wages were very comparable between 2000 and 2017. Here, shaded in pink, United and ACPA 767 wages from 2017 to 2021. Here we see the United pilots make strong advances and start to recover toward their pre-bankruptcy inflation-adjusted wages. Again, notice that the United 767 captain hourly wage is now very close to the ACPA pre-bankruptcy inflation-adjusted wage, shown here by the blue United line intersecting with the orange inflation line. ACPA 767 pilots locked into a 10-year deal, parallel inflation, and make no gains on their pre-bankruptcy inflation-adjusted wages. Up until 2017, ACPA and United 767 wages were very comparable. Today, the two wages have never been further apart. The gap between ACPA and United 767 wages has slightly more than doubled to 18 to 19%. In red is the ACPA 2021 wages for various fleet types. In orange is ACPA's 2003 wages, inflation adjusted to $2,021. Delta's 2019 pay and United 2021 pay plotted to the right. ACPA's 2003 wages, inflation adjusted to $2,021, are very similar to Delta and United wages today. The same chart plotted a different way. ACPA's 2003 wages, inflation adjusted to $2,021, are very similar to Delta and United wages today. An overview of pay distribution since bankruptcy. This slide is showing percent pay increase since bankruptcy for the 12-year pay scale. It compares the low point exiting bankruptcy compared to 2021. The first thing that jumps out at you is the large changes on the right. Remember, these are percentage changes, not dollars. The United pilots were hit much harder than ACPA pilots during bankruptcy. They also accomplished far greater recovery after bankruptcy. But that isn't the only thing that stands out on this slide. Look at the distribution of post-bankruptcy pay increases for ACPA pilots on the left versus United pilots on the right. United pilots are even. First officers received the exact percent increase as captains. The 737 and 320 had slightly larger gains than the 767 and 777 because new larger variants such as the 320 and 737-900 entered the fleet. But basically, United, everyone shared the gains equally. Now let's look at ACPA pilot distribution. Notice the distribution difference since bankruptcy. Most of the gains went to captains, less to first officers, even less to RPs. This unequal distribution is a result of the percent of captain pay reductions in 2011. This distribution change in percent of captain pay is permanent until addressed. By this I mean all future pay increases will follow the same formula that has disadvantaged first officers and RPs since 2011, unless changed. In this presentation, we've covered the United and ACPA pay history are actually very comparable up till 2017. Yes, historically, United pilots have made more than ACPA pilots. Yes, they've made a different currency in US dollars, but the pattern between the two groups was similar. It is only the recent gains by United pilots in an attempt to reestablish their pre-bankruptcy inflation-adjusted wages that has caused the separation. ACPA has made no progress reestablishing pre-bankruptcy inflation-adjusted wages. In fact, first officer and RP wages have fallen further behind inflation since. ACPA's 2003 wages, inflation adjusted to 2021, are very similar to today's United and Delta wages. The wage disparity with United pilots has doubled since 2003, and most of that doubling has happened in the last 4 years. Post-bankruptcy, United pilots shared their gains equally. Post-bankruptcy, ACPA distribution was not equal. The percent of captain pay reductions meant FOs and RPs received less. Thank you for watching this presentation. Fly safe and have a great day.